Hello everybody, what is going on? Welcome to the channel. Look at this beautiful 675SR. One of the most, if not the most beautiful Chinese motorcycles. Such a beautiful machine, if not for the super aggressive ergonomics, which I don't like, which is not suitable for a city. It'll be such a blast to ride. Yeah, dudes, I've told you that my previous video was the last video about 675, but I guess I just decided to make one more for you because today I'm gonna swap bikes and I'm gonna say goodbye to this beautiful 675SR. We had some very good time together. We've made some videos. We were launching the bike against some very strong competitors, and the bike did not let me down. Eventually we understood that there are some issues with excessive oil burn and stuff like that, but this fuel injector nozzle was swapped and now bike is fine. It does not consume as much fuel as before, but I believe that the damage is done. Actually, I really like how it looks at night. It's very beautiful. I really like this color at night. I feel like a white bike is gonna look better during the daytime just because of those beautiful blue wheels, but at night the silver slash black design looks extremely good. Yeah, dude, I'm sorry, I'm not talking much, I'm just trying not to cry. Yeah. Alright, dudes, I'll hop on the bike and we'll go. Let's go together. Hope you'll share this final ride with me, and we're gonna talk about all those things like potential problems with reliability, fuel consumption, and I'll try to answer some of your questions. So let's go. Oh dude, I'm squinting a little today. This is my last time riding the 675SR. I'm waiting for some new Chinese motorcycles to be released, and while I'm waiting I decided to just get myself something I truly like. So I'll show you my new bike in my new video, but coming back to this 675SR, my clutch has zero symptoms of worn clutch plate. Zero. No smell, no odd sensation in the lever, no odd sensation in the throttle, nothing, no sound. Everything works perfectly. Simultaneously, as I accelerate, my revs are perfectly matched with my acceleration. In this regard, dudes, my clutch is super healthy. Many people are telling me that with this aggressive launching, it's impossible not to wear your clutch plates. And I would argue, guys, that this is probably why I like the 675 so much. And this is why I was saying that this bike is so easy to launch. What I mean by easy to launch is that you don't have to rev up the engine a lot and you don't have to slip the clutch. Let's say if you try to launch Cove 450 RR, you need to rev up the engine a lot. And in order to get the best result, you have to slip the clutch. So you have to keep your clutch engaged while you are just opening the throttle. And it's indeed very bad for your clutch, but this is the most efficient way for you to be fast. On 675, I don't do this. Not a single time did I do it. I release the clutch right away. So I rev up my engine like to 5, maybe 6,000 RPMs, and I very, very swiftly release the clutch. Sometimes, yeah, I get a little bit too excited and I can do 3, maybe 4 launches in a row, but I always take my time, dude. I make sure that the clutch plates, they're chilling a little, they're cooling down. Then I was like, all right, maybe I'm stupid, maybe I don't really understand how it works. Even though I've ridden bikes with slipped clutch, and I rode some bikes which had really bad clutch plates, and every time you ride the bike like that, there's certain smell, the clutch lever feels differently, and if the clutch is truly slipped, you rev up the engine and revs come up very fast, without accelerating. And this is actually why I really like 675SR, because this bike is really reliable in this regard. Yet, people were telling me that I just don't really understand what's going on, and I'm not qualified to even give you my humble estimate of a problem. And again, dude, I'm not a mechanic. I don't really know what I'm talking about, right? I checked the problem. CF Motor staff checked the problem. We did this burnout test. We spoke to mechanics. I've done like my research, dudes. Don't get me wrong. And there's not a single symptom of worn clutch plates. Not a single one. With that being said, dude, my acceleration has significantly declined. My best acceleration was 3.5 seconds. In winter, dude, it was like late fall. I remember it was very cold, so traction wasn't as good. I was new to the bike. I didn't know how to launch the bike properly. And now, when I feel so confident riding this bike, when my skills got better and the weather is better, so everything's supposed to be better for the acceleration, and yet my acceleration has declined by 1 freaking seconds on average. And if I do a great job, like my acceleration is 7.5 seconds. Before, my acceleration was 7.5 seconds if I was like horrible. So we're talking about like 1 second, dudes, if not more. If for you it's not a big deal, I mean, okay. Dudes, I'm not actually even racing most of the time, but for me, this decline is something super annoying and I don't really like it. I truly believe that the reason why my performance has declined is this oil problem. One more thing just to tell you is that after we swap this injector nozzle, I'll show you. We have what? We have 7.6 liters per 100 kilometers. So the fuel consumption has declined, which is a great thing. Before it was 9+ liters, right now it's 7.6 liters. We need to take into account that I always ride in the city, so we have to wait for the green light in the traffic jam. So if you ride on a highway, it will be a different story. But again, dudes, 9.2 liters, this is just outrageous. It's more than on any other bike I've ridden. But now, it's much better. Much better. So this is why I'm saying that this fuel injector nozzle problem could be detected on the early stage. If your bike is consuming way too much fuel, most likely this fuel injector nozzle is compromised. Now, as we swap the detail, it's much better. I truly believe just that my engine was running low on oil for 1, maybe 2 months, and this is why it just worn, torn, and deteriorated to the extent where my performance has declined. I need to tell you just that every single motorcycle, every single early model of 675SR has a decline in performance. Every single one. By every single one, I mean 3 motorcycles which I'm aware of. And let me tell you how I found out that my acceleration got worse. So I was reviewing this QG Motor 600, right? And I was like, okay, so 0 to 100 is like 3.8 seconds, and 0 to 150 is like 7.7 seconds. I'm like, haha, such a piece of junk. My 675 is so much better. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring my 675 and to the place where I measure acceleration. We'll just show you, dude, how much better this bike is. How much more superior the acceleration of 675 is compared to this piece of junk, which we call QG Motor. After 600RS, 675 feels so smooth. Throttle on 675 is so much longer. It's so much easier to operate. And it feels less jerky. And in order to ride fast on this bike, you have to be very rough and aggressive with the throttle. Honestly, guys, I don't know why, but 6 and 5 feels a little bit slower to me. even though this bike is faster. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, 150 kilometers per hour, like this bike would be faster, like substantially faster. However, feelings wise, maybe because of the throttle response, it just doesn't feel as aggressive, and I feel like it's not a bad thing, honestly. So throttle is super manageable, it's way easier to ride in the city. The bike is way more flickable, way more maneuverable, way easier to ride. But the power is not as accessible. So on 675 you need to open the throttle way more. As I've said, the throttle is much longer. On 600RS from QG motor, throttle is jerky, it's shorter, it's still kind of responsive and I like it as well, but 675 in general is gonna be much smoother. Everything on this bike is smoother. The suspension, the throttle response, the gearbox, like everything. So 675 feels so much more refined. Right guys, traction control is off. Whew. Let's try to get from 0 to 100. Honestly, I thought it was better than this. Just now my 0 to 100 was what, 4 seconds. I mean, it's still alright. This is my first time today on this bike. But yeah, if you would launch the bike properly, it's really fast actually. And I don't really feel like I'll be slipping the clutch anytime soon on this bike. It's really reliable in this regard. Okay, one more time. Okay, 3.79. Not bad, but this is not my best time. Not my best time. 4 seconds flat. I cannot crack 4 seconds. What is going on? So my best acceleration today, what? 822? That's really bad. 4 seconds, what the hell? What is going on? Shit, it's fucking slow, dudes. What the hell? What is going on? Why is it so slow? Well, you see, guys, right now I was launching my 675 with no traction control, and some freaking how it's not any faster. Maybe, I don't know why. I'm very, very confused. And then, dudes, I was like, what the hell? It's like 8 seconds. 0 to 150, 8 seconds. 0 to 100, like 4 seconds. Like, what? Hold on a second. I'm like, what is going on? Probably my gasoline is all messed up, right? I guessed up octane 98. The same freaking thing. I was like, no freaking way, dude. What is going on? Like, I was not prepared for this kind of disappointment. And I need to tell you just that as I was launching my bike, my fuel tank was pretty much empty. So we cannot blame my full gas tank as an additional weight, which would contribute to this decline in performance. Some of you said that the windshield and the front fender could contribute. And I'm selling this bike today, and why not to tell you about the depreciation of the bike. Initially, I spent at about 45,000 RMB, right? So this machine is what, 7 months old, let's say, and I paid 45,000 RMB for it. The original price is 41,500 RMB, but we need to pay taxes, we need to pay some other things. So in the end of the day, I paid 45,000. As I tried to sell the bike, many people, they offer 38,000, right? So initially I wanted to sell the bike for 39, but everybody wants to buy this bike for 37, 38,000. It's not too bad, honestly speaking, but yeah, this is a trade-off. I don't really feel like it's very optimal for us to buy new bikes while we're in China, because the competition is so freaking ferocious. All those bikes, they're just being released with an incredible pace. So this bike is 6-7 months old, and in China it is considered to be an old bike. If you think about that, new Fujimoto 800RS is about to be released. There are also new bikes from Vogue, from Fujimoto again, from Jiangxia. Like, it's not only about new models, dudes. It's about new freaking brands. Jiangxia is something brand new, right? So what I'm saying is that this bike is 6-7 months old, and in China it already feels freaking old. Let alone that in a month or two, the same brand, CF Motor, is going to release a new 750 SR. So I feel like after the release of this brand new 750 SR, this bike is going to go down in price even more. Do I regret buying this bike? No, of course I don't. We made a lot of videos, dude. I promise that this is my last video with this particular 675 SR. Maybe later I'll just grab some other 675 SR, so we'll be able to test those bikes. Maybe they're going to be faster, maybe they're going to be slower. Every single 675 SR from 2024 that I'm aware of has a performance decline. Maybe those people are just lying, just like me, right? Maybe we're just delusional. Maybe every single 675 SR has worn clutch plates. But if I'm being serious, I truly believe that this fuel injector nozzle has compromised the engine a little, and this is why the performance of this 675 SR is declined along with those other ones from 2024. Again, if you're buying the bike in 2025, most likely it will not have this issue. Yeah, dude, I feel a little sad. I don't really want to sell it, but yeah, it's time for me to sell it anyway. Yeah, but buy 675 SR, or should I say 675 SRR. We had beautiful time together. You would not be forgotten. I hope that the new owner is gonna have fun. Yeah, a beautiful motorcycle. This windshield, a little dirty, but beautiful nonetheless. Yeah, guys. Yeah, bye-bye 675 SR. Bye-bye, dudes. I'll see you in my next videos. Bye, everybody. Take care.